We are going to look at how you can deploy your Gatsby project using Moovweb XDN.
I already have a project on my local system. So let's look at that really quickly so that we have a preview of what's going to happen. While this runs, shouldn't take a while. All right. So here is a Gatsby startup log that I have. You will need a project on your local system to get this up and running. So make sure you have that. Okay. The steps for this is nicely laid out on the developer page for each framework. So we need a Gatsby one. So we'll go to the Gatsby section over here. Here you have all the details, which says you need a node version 12 or higher. So let's make sure we have that. Yep, I have version 12.80.3, so that will work. If you don't have a Gatsby project, the code for that has been given for you. Since I already have one, that is not a necessity for me. Right, so the first step is to install XDN CLI. Let's copy that command over here. Because of the way I've set up npm, I'll need to use sudo, but you don't have to. So we'll wait for the XDN command line interface to be installed. That's done. Now the next thing to do is to navigate to the root directory of your project. So just make sure we are there. We are. Let's just make sure I have all the files. I need to initialize XDN next. So that's XDN. This will install all the different commands that we need for this specific Gatsby project to run. So you have your core, you have your prefetching, you have your dev tools. To know more about those, you should look at the other videos that we have. But for now, we are not going to get into those and just look at how you can just simply deploy a Gatsby project on XDN. So the installation for that is complete. Let's just make sure. So we have XDN run. Obviously, that's what it's going to do. Is make sure it's running perfectly on the local system. It's up and running on the local host, so that's perfect. Let's now, the final step is to just deploy. So you can simply do XDN deploy. If you're not signed in on your browser, it will open up the browser for you to sign up or log in, depending upon if you have an account or not. I have already authenticated, so it will just pick that from the cookie from the browser and the deployment should begin. You should be able to see the deployment that's going on in your console. So this is the deployment that's currently happening. As you can see, this is in progress. We can just go to the build number really quickly and monitor that from here, as well as on the local machine. So let's give that a second to complete. Right. So the deployment has actually started now. The build was going on before. It should be getting deployed. Yep, it's running the job deploy build on XDN Lambda. And as you can see, the local terminal also says the deployment is in progress. So it makes sure that you're in sync with whatever that's going on in the cloud as well. Since this is the first deployment, it's usually longer. Subsequent deployments don't take that long to complete. Right, so that has been deployed. It's making sure that the pages are deployed on the edge as well. More about that in other videos. But for now, you can see that I have a URL based on my project and the account that I have, and it's now live on the site. And you get the URLs for the build and the edge URL in the local console as well. So you can directly go from here if you wanted to, but since I was already in the console, I already have that here. This is your build console. You can look at the different functionalities that we have. You can look at the permalink URLs or the edge URLs. Static page rendering is something we'll talk about later. And you can also have production logs available here. That's it for today. Thank you.